Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HGUC Pale Rider Space Type. Now, the Pale Rider was even originally a Premium Bandai kit, so I was never expecting a variant of the Pale Rider to come out as a kit. Even if it was to come out, I was expecting it to come out as Premium Bandai. However, it actually happened. So today we have the Space Type. This should be one of the recent or latest Premium Bandai kits that you should be receiving if you pre-ordered. Some people have already gotten it. Some people are still waiting. So here we are. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off with the Gatling gun pose and the Gatling gun gimmicks because it's one of the most trickiest gimmicks I have ever seen, and the instruction manual just makes it more confusing. But okay, for now, here we go. And sorry about the dog barking. My sister's dog is at my house. So first of all, before we get into the actual gimmicks, let's see what you get. Of course, you get the Pale Rider itself with the Gatling gun. So let's put it on the back. What else you get is regularly, you should be getting 2 beam saber effects, and then you should be getting a beam rifle. The scope is supposed to be a sticker. I colored it in just gold. And then you should be getting a shield as well. Now, here are the leftover parts. As usual, like the original Pale Rider, you get 2 visors. You can either get the red visor for the Hades system, or you can just go for the green one to use the normal mode. And beyond that, you get some leftover polycaps as usual. And then you get these leftover parts. Now, you actually do get enough parts to make a extra ballpoint machine gun. And you only get this part of the shield, which is also from the Gym Striker, I believe, or was it? Yeah, the Gym Striker. You only get half of it, so you don't actually have parts to make the shield. But it is good to know that you get the option or enough spare parts to make the machine gun. So I might use that later in the future. And here we go, we have a gigantic sticker sheet. I wasn't aware of this, but the Hades system and the normal mode have different set of stickers. So that was kind of unexpected, but yeah, it was a fun build. Now, some stickers are meant for like the Hades, some are for the original. Like for these ones, the gold ones are supposed to be for the Hades system, and the gray ones are supposed for the normal. However, there are some stickers that they don't give for the Hades system. So if you're going to be like really accurate, there are some other parts that you have to color by yourself. And you have these gigantic sticker sheets, these black ones. These black ones are for the shield. So this shield comes in. This is a single piece and comes in entirely light blue. The black parts you see, I actually colored them by myself. I used a Gundam marker, and the drying off process was not the best, but so I might need to recolor it one more time to make it look more natural. So that's that. Now let's get on to the review. So actually, let me get rid of the spinning table and let's see what we got. Okay, for the Gatling gun, as mentioned, I'm going to start off with this. The Gatling gun may look extremely amazing or really looks cool. However, it's really tricky to pose actually. I mean, especially if you follow the instruction manual, you have no idea what you're supposed to do. So currently you have 2 ways. You can actually hold it in 2 hands like this, or you can hold it just 1 hand, but that's not the problem. But how the instruction manual tells you is that they make it look like you have to keep it on this peg, which is technically impossible because the hole is right over here, so there is no way that can actually reach to the front. So just letting you guys know, if you're going to use the Gatling gun, this is not supposed to be connected. There is no way you can actually make a decent pose out of using this connected. So yeah, you have the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun itself does not spin. Somehow I was expecting it to spin, but oh well. And that's pretty much it. You have this part, which for the ammo connector, this is actually one of those rubber materials and stuff. And I suggest you actually bend all these parts. I just used it in straight, so there were some tricky parts to do. So I'm just going to deconnect this and just letting you guys know that you can actually, even in the manual, you can technically hold it with both hands. So let me just get rid of this. And the Gatling gun, well, the Gatling gun isn't too heavy itself, but The problem is like how natural it looks like. So with this, without the connector or stuff, you can pretty much hold it with no problem at all. Of course, the ball jointed hand might be a little bit wobbly. Now, I built the Expo exclusive pill writer with the metallic coating and stuff, and that one was extremely stiff in all ways. However, this being the normal color and not being coated, there are some tricky parts. So once again, you can hold it with one hand if you want to do so, but the moment you connect this part, it gets really tricky. It keeps going on to the side like that. I mean, and if you try to like force move it, it pops out. So once again, you might require a few practices to make it look as natural as possible. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going now to show you guys how you're supposed to store the Gatling gun, how the manual tells you. Okay, so this cable thing, the ammo connector things, I forgot what these are exactly called. They're right over here. They connect this side, the ammo pack, and then goes back through here, and here is the rest. What you're supposed to do is that there's a hole here, and then you connect it to the peg right over here. And then there we go. And the way how this is supposed to work is that you're not supposed to go in front like this. I mean, if it was, it would be really easily. But you're supposed to go back through the machine gun, and then you're somehow supposed to connect it like right over here. Sorry for the camera. You're supposed to connect it like this, but I have no idea how you're supposed to do it. I feel like it's not enough length. I mean, technically, if you force it, it's possible, but yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. So what I do is just make it look natural and then do it the other way. You just connect it and make the cables go in front of the machine gun, and then connect the ammo connector like this. So I mean, it's not the best looks, but it also works enough for me. So that's that. Also, I will be doing a comparison compared to the the ground type, just letting you guys know. So that's that. And now let's get on to the easy parts. For now, since we have nothing on the hands, let's try out the beam sabers. The beam saber, once again, like the my previous limited Expo version, the beam sabers are extremely stiff. They're pretty much stuck on the side, and I'm terribly sorry for the the focus. This is not the best camcorder ever. So here we go. It pretty much works any same way as any beam saber. Just plug it in, and then there you go. You only get two hands, and so you have the multi-purpose hands, and it holds the beam saber. Yeah, totally, no problem at all. It's not falling or popping out. So that's that. And these parts don't move at all, so don't try to like force move the beam sabers while it's on the rack. Okay, beyond this, you get the shield as mentioned. All these black sections you see is supposed to be a sticker. I just colored it because I honestly don't want to use those stickers. And like the ground type, you do get the same type of connector right over here for the arm. And there is a hole on the side arm as well. You just need to peg it in, and god darn it, I really hate this camera. I'm saving up for a new camera because this camera just literally sucks at this point. So that's that. You have the connector, and you can swivel around. Well, you can move it around if you want to do so, since it's on the peg. It was a poly cap inside the shield. And lastly, the new thing we get is a beam rifle. Just snap two pieces with these parts on it, and there you go. This is, I believe, the same. The shield and the beam rifle is pretty much the same type of weapons as the Gundam Unit 4 and 5, and even the Gatling gun is from those mobile suits. So a lot of people were expecting either a master grade version of the Pale Rider, since we already have a master grade of the Unit 4 and 5, or we're expecting a HGUC of those 4 and 5 units. I'm not sure which one is gonna come out. It's really up to Bandai's call, but yeah. And you do get this extra handle that moves around. Like I said, the scope is supposed to be a sticker. I used a Gundam Gold marker to color it because it's really not the best type of stickers to put on top of these kind of parts. So once again, since you don't get an actual trigger finger, you just need to plug it in, and there you go. You have you have the beam rifle. Now, because of the Gatling gun, it may be tricky to pose certain poses, but if you know how to move it around, you're pretty much good to go. So there you go. It really looks nice as well. So we've seen the basic equipment. So let's look at its articulation now. Now, the articulation, if you already built the Pale Rider, it's pretty much the same. But for now, the Gatling machine gun, the way how it's pegged in, you can move it around a little bit like that. And also, well, technically you can move this part as well, but because of those cable things, you really don't want to move it. Okay, let me take off the shield, and now let's get the articulation. The articulation for the head, once again, I use the normal mode, so I'm using the green visor. The stickers are for the head, the eyes, and then there is a back camera over there. And for the Hades system, now technically, if you're using for the Hades, you have to use the yellow sticker on these back parts, and then there is no black sticker for this part, so I just color these parts myself. And the head articulation, well, it's pretty moderate. It can go down that much, up that much, and then 360 should not be a problem at all. And be careful with the antenna. The antennas are always one of the fragile parts of like mobile suits. And the neck joint is one of those polycab neck joints. Come on. Now, oh boy. Like one of these polycabs. God, I hate this camera. Like, there we go. You have this polycab neck joint. So that's the middle connector of the head. So when you're actually twisting it, it may twist together, and you might lose its, back and forward part, because there is a forward and backward thing on it. Okay, so other part that's supposed to be a sticker is that these parts are also supposed to be a sticker. I just used technically it's supposed to be white and gray, but there is no way I could pull it off, so I just colored it in metallic silver. And let's see, that's pretty much it for the main body. The backpack is pretty much the same. This middle section, bottom here, is supposed to be the same, but you actually get these additional fuel canisters. Or fuel tubes, I'm not sure which is the exact term, but yeah. Since this is the space type, it would require more fuel to fly around. There is no ab crunch because this kit came out in the PlayStation 3 era, I believe, so that's before revives. 360 twisting, I would not suggest that, since it's pretty much obvious why you don't want to do that. For the arms, okay, the arms, it can go forward and backward, and they're connected to a ball joint. And the arms itself, well, they don't go to the side too much because of these parts and designs. And then you have a double jointed elbow, which was a pretty amazing thing for the time. It was kind of ahead of its time. And now 360, if you don't have anything on the back, it should be possible as well. And you have these holes on the arms as well for each arm, and you have your typical ball jointed hands. Now for the shoulders, these black sections, those are not stickers, and they don't give you stickers, but I've checked the images, and I believe even on the promo pics these parts were black, so I actually colored these parts in black. I saw it because when I first saw the shoulders, something was not right, and that was the thing. You need to color these in black. Okay, now for the waist section, as mentioned, this being the normal type, these parts and the crotch part is supposed to be white and whitish gray, so I just color it in metallic silver. If you're going for the Hades, these has to be in yellow or gold color. I was not really aware of that. Once the Hades system is on, I did not know that a lot of parts actually start to glow yellow or gold. And the waist, the side skirts go about that much, and the front skirts can go forward about that much, and you can separate these in separate pieces. You have a side swivel inside the leg. Because of the side skirt, you don't go to the side too much. Well, that's pretty a good amount for me. It can go forward about 90 degrees up front, and then have a double jointed bend on the legs. That is pretty good for its time as well. And then, once again, this is a premium Bandai kit, so it's not exactly a new type of kit. Of course, the Pale Rider was originally premium Bandai and had a own unique build of its own. So this is pretty much based on that. So if you were expecting a totally different build of a Pale Rider, that's not the case. Okay, the feet, you have like two joints. You have one on the top and one on the bottom, so you have a decent amount of joints on the feet, and there's no like bending on the foot as well. And for the side legs, you have these holes, which was supposed to be for originally for the missile launchers from the ground type, but since this is the space type, you don't get those. And these white sections here, they're also supposed to use a sticker. I just colored using a white Gundam marker. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, we've seen the basics and articulation of the Pale Rider. So what is the main difference between the original or ground type? So here I'm going to do a simple comparison. Here we go. Once again, there are some other extra areas which they're supposed to be gold if you're using the Pale Rider Hades mode. For example, this one on the arms, there's supposed to be these gold sections if you're using the Hades, but since I'm going for the normal, they don't actually give you stickers. So if you're going to be really accurate, you might really need to do some observation. So these parts might need to be black, but since these parts are kind of already a good amount of dark colors, so you don't need to worry about that. So as you can see, the main difference would be, well, excluding the color, would be the shoulders and its equipment. While the shoulders, this one is more the gym sniperish shoulders. These are pretty much new shoulders. Less equipment, no missile launchers. Instead of a ballpoint machine gun, you get a beam rifle. Instead of the gym striker shield, you get a the Gundam Unit 4 and 5 shields. And instead of a cannon, you get a Gatling gun. And with additional thrusters right here. So the way how these connects is the same way of how they use these parts. So yeah, it's not exactly a new part, but rather they more add-ons to it. So once again, I'm not going to say which is the better. It's really up to your preferences, but they're both really looking good. I think I do prefer when it comes to equipment, I do prefer the land type because the land type is more functional. You can actually swivel it up front and then use the handle, while this one you have to just literally separate the piece. Okay, the review was longer than I thought, but this was basically the review of the Pale Rider Space type. Hope this information was, informative for you guys. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. If I got anything wrong, leave a comment below as well. I still have more kits to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!